Hey, Nicorette here, and first off, I'm sorry that the lighting isn't very good. The heat wave came back to the UK and it is very sunny, and even if I have my curtains closed, it's then too dark. So I'm just gonna power through with this really bad lighting. So today I'm gonna make it a sort of awareness video, and it's upon something that's becoming all too common in society and on social media and all that, way too much now, and I never thought it would happen to me, and that is stalking. So there are many forms of stalking. There's online, there's in real life, there's stalking in the form of harassment, sexual stalking. There's so many different things and types of stalking that can happen against a person. And luckily with mine, I managed to nip it in the bud before it could become anything more than following me around and interacting with me. But it could have gone further if I hadn't taken action sooner. So sort of like a story time today of a life experience, and then awareness and warning of what you can do if you are experiencing similar things, be it in person or online. So it was back end of 2016 to the beginning of 2017. I had started my second year of college, and I was doing an IT course. At the time, I was having a lot of PTSD and depression problems, and like many colleges and universities, they had a student union. So there was it started with me simply supporting this class on a sort of Welsh baccalaureate, so sort of like a skills challenge, to sort of just basically helping class, helping students, stuff like that, of a lower year. And it just happened to be that, and I'll call this guy Jim for now. It turned out that piqued his interest. Don't know why. I didn't directly help him in the lesson. He was one of the students who didn't have to really help, but I was going around, I was helping, and he happened to be in it. Thought nothing of it until about he like kept bumping into me and trying to say hi and ask how I was doing, but as I thought, that's student life, that's normal. But I didn't know him, and I only talk frequently to people that I know. So in Britain we have a half term in February. After that, I came back and the student union started offering something called one-to-one, and my classmate, we'll call him Jeff, was a student union member. So I had talked to him about my problems in the past, since the beginning of the year, and he offered to be my one-to-one, because I didn't feel comfortable going to the counsellor in there, in the campus. So I decided to try something new, go through student union. So I had my first one. I was in there with Jeff talking about things, and basically I was going through what I knew was reasons I had certain problems, like the past traumatic events and so on. I was going through the grooming incident in a bit of detail, and suddenly, and mind you, the blinds were shut, there was a sign on the door saying meeting or one-to-one in progress, and Jim bursts in and catches a very personal part. He was told to leave by Jeff. He then burst in 2 more times. One to pass on a message, the other one just as I was finishing up with Jeff and I was getting ready to leave. And Jeff had to warn him 3 times that he can't do this. He can't burst into one-to-one sessions because of the content that may be being spoken of. But he didn't take it on board. And I can say I was 100% aware that he had hid a particularly sensitive part of information, and that didn't settle well. So, and I can't remember if it was a couple of days or a couple of weeks later, I used to have to catch 2 buses to get home from the college campus, and on the second one I was waiting in the queue to board the bus, and Jim approached me. He mentioned the one-to-one session that I had had and asked how things had gone. Obviously, be it counselling, one-to-one, things are confidential. You do not, if somehow you hear about it, or in his case he probably purposely tried to hear about it, you do not ask the person what it was like and how it had gone, unless you are a parent. That is something you do not do, and he did it anyway. As the bus arrived, we got on. He sat next to me and said the white lie that started it all. I'll abbreviate what he said. He suggested that I could talk confidentially to him as he was also a student union officer. He suggested I added him on Facebook and joined the student support messenger chat group that he and his girlfriend was a part of. I made it clear that I would block him and never ever add him again if anything turned out to be false or if it wasn't confidential or anything like that. I made it 100% clear. I didn't know his name properly, and I did not know how to spell it because it was a Welsh name. So since he was sat right next to me, I could see whatever he may do. I handed him a phone on the search Facebook bar only and said, type in your name and just click on your profile and I'll press add. He kept a hold of my phone for a good minute after typing his phone in and adding himself. And I had to say, hey, look, I'm getting near my stop, for him to give it back. He didn't appear to do anything, and then suggested that as we lived quite close together, that we could meet up and go on a bike ride or something like that. I felt uncomfortable then, because look, I don't know you very well. I am only adding you because you said there's something to do with a student union and support. I'm not your friend. And he's suggesting we meet up. Why would I meet up with someone that's basically a stranger? Really, why would I? So and because of the case of grooming when I was younger online, certain things make me very uncomfortable when it comes to unwanted interest. And that's what exactly Jim was doing. Give me unwanted interest. Ever since that encounter, I tried to start not bump into him, try not to talk to him. Although as our courses were literally a floor apart, that was extremely difficult to keep up with. And as we sort of normally caught the same bus home. So I was making myself tipsy later getting home so I could miss the bus that he would be on. So yeah, that wasn't fair on me. Although he didn't seem to show any harm intended, like physical or sexual at the time, I was made aware of occasions where he has acted similar and gone further with other female acquaintances he has made. He was also after Jeff's girlfriend all the time, and there was 3 other girls, and it turned out Jim had a criteria. Slightly heavier built women, or girls should I say. He was about 22, and he went for between 16 and 19-year-olds who were slightly on the heavy side and who had mental health problems and were vulnerable. And the fact that that seemed to be the curriculum he stuck with is sick, is messed up. He would touch certain other girls' butts without permission. He kept staring at my butt without, well, there's no permission should have been given. He should not have been looking at my behind or my chest or anything, because I had a boyfriend, which he was well aware of. And because of that, I felt like my fears, my uncomfortable feelings and that were justified. Because also one time I was on the same bus with him because I couldn't avoid it this time because I had to get back for an appointment. Just as I was heading to get off at my stop, he went and grabbed my jacket in a way of trying to delay me. One, that was one of my favourite jackets. I did not want any sort of inappropriate loser grabbing me by it. And two, to delay someone that is clearly trying to avoid you is not a smart idea. And it made me upset, terrified, and very angry. I wanted to punch him. But I held back and I got home and I said to my mum and dad, okay, this is getting a bit much and a bit far. So I got recommended to, because I had posted a safeguarding report, I had given one to the safeguarding officer and he wrote it up, and Jim was given a formal warning to stop against any of the girls, and he would be kept a close eye on. But even though that was the case, he kept messing around in the student union office. He kept stealing people's stuff, like other officers' stuff, which was why he was on a warning particular to the student union. And after he caused almost a fight towards Jeff, and I had to step in because he got told, okay, you cannot enter the student union anymore. That was the final straw for this people in the student union, and he was kicked from the student union. But because nobody came forward with people were too scared to come forward with any sexual touching or anything like that, he wasn't kicked from the college, which really annoyed a lot of us. But after that, well, a bit before that and more probably after that, he started following me around town. He started giving me angry and then seductive looks when I was walking with my boyfriend. My boyfriend turned around one time when me and my boyfriend went to get food, and he saw Jim staring directly at my behind with a smirk on his face. And as those instances came closer to home and started becoming more and more frequent, I was really close to breaking and running up to him and saying, leave me the hell alone, this is not good, you are stalking me and it is really inappropriate. But I was too afraid to, because I still didn't know him very well. I still didn't know what he would do if I ran up and told him and called him out. So I got assigned to a mental health service called Changing Minds, and I went for the sort of like the pre-meeting with the person who runs it to get documentation sorted and a bit of an understanding to my individual needs and my problems and so on, and for her to explain what they offered and what they did. And at the end of that, I said, I don't know if you would know, but what should I do if I think someone's stalking me? And she worked with colleges, the group of colleges that I attended. And she said, well, I can follow up on the safeguarding thing, and I can also see if there is any other people in our radar who has had experiences with gym. But as if you want a quick resolve, I would say go to the police. What to do, the police? I did not want to go to them due to so many instances that I've had to speak with them, indirectly or directly, but I knew that if I didn't, I don't think Jim stalking me would have stopped. So I took the advice, I went literally across the road to the police station, and I said, I want to report a case of someone I believe is stalking me. This is his name, and could something be done? I got called in to give a account, and I got really annoyed at one comment the officer said, which was, why didn't you come sooner? And I had to explain, while on the verge of tears, I was describing how uncomfortable and how nervous and anxious this guy made me feel. I didn't know who to go to. I didn't know what to do. I did not know if this was stalking or if it was coincidental. I didn't know if this was inappropriate or if it was just me because of my prior problems and my PTSD. But finally, the point for it to stop came when they tracked his name to an address, went, talked to his carers, and talked to him saying, if you do not leave this girl and anyone else you may be doing such acts towards, you will be brought into the station. And guess what? He hasn't shown his face. Well, he's shown his face, but he hasn't approached me. He hasn't tried touching me. He hasn't tried following me since. Because he knew he was on the verge of being caught of doing such inappropriate things and such an act. So that was my stalking experience, and it was very real and very scary. And of course I'm not going to say real names because that would be wrong of me to do so. But overall, the message is, if you feel you are being stalked or harassed and it feels safe to do so, well, even if it doesn't, if you feel vulnerable, if you feel attacked, if you feel followed, anything like that, tell someone, tell the police, and get what needs to be done. Because hiding away or just dealing with it every day will mean it can escalate and escalate, and you don't know what that person's going to end up doing. And I will be honest, I still look over my back for him. I still get worried. I still get angry when I see him, because he picks on vulnerable girls who are already going through problems and abuses those facts. And I'll be honest, I get that it's difficult to come forward. I get it's very scary to try telling police when something's happening, especially if it's something like a ex-partner or abusive partner or ex-friend who's got malicious intent or things like that. It is very difficult. But if you feel you are in risk of harm, sexual abuse, harassment, or simply being followed and it's getting too much, you have a right as a person to bring that forward and get help and assistance in stopping that person doing so. If you feel someone's following you, you can tell a friend and they will hopefully help you in building the courage and building the basically just building the confidence and the willpower to go tell authorities. And if it feels like it's something secluded to a school or college, you can go to a safeguarding officer and commonly they will try doing something. They will talk to the person, they will put things in place so they can't get to you as easily, or they may simply exclude them if it is a case of something too far, or if they have touched you inappropriately, properly, or been saying comments that are really concerning, they can call in the police for you. Either way, you'd have to give a statement, and giving a statement is difficult, is really nerve-wracking and tense to do so because you're recalling things that have happened. But if you don't and you can't say everything, then they're not going to be able to do as much as they can. And if it's online, if you feel someone is, if it's solely and seems to be online and somebody's stalking your profile or something like that, then yeah, you can just, you can give them a warning or just give them a heads up that this is inappropriate and you are being banned from my channel, you are being blocked on Facebook, you mustn't contact me, you can report them to Facebook, send the Facebook service their full details of what's going on, or you can take it to the police and they can trace it, but that's very special cases that they will use the resources to do that. Otherwise, if it is something where you feel they are stalking in real life but using electronics to communicate or give warnings or give hints that they are, you can go to the police and they will do what they need to do to help you stop them and find them. And by all means you can block any incoming, but keep what they have already sent and take it somewhere that they can do something about it. Because if you are being stalked like that, that is a very dangerous type, because you don't know their full intentions. You don't always know where they are, how they are viewing you, how they are watching you, and it is but when it turns into violence and actual something sexual or horrible or threatening, because it's not always like a secret admirer stalking you. It's sometimes a friend that wants revenge, so it could be a violence sort of stalking. So bar that, the type where you don't know who they are and they just seem to be contacting you, they say, I can see you and all that. That is a very, very dangerous type, and you need to take it to authorities, because even calling to the authorities to your house may work, but obviously be tactful, because you don't know what this person is intending. As for a message to any young people that feel it's happening, talk to a family member and let them help you figure out what's to do and what's going on, because it's not secluded to adults or teenagers. It can happen to children, and it is sick. But if you feel uncomfortable as a child or a teenager or an adult, go talk with someone, go talk to the right people, and let them help you sort it out. Don't stay suffering in the dark. Don't stay thinking, oh, it's nice somebody's showing attention, but I'm so awkward. Or, please, it's really that, or thinking, nobody's gonna listen. Somebody will listen if you say. As long as you go into detail, somebody will listen. And you need to do that, otherwise you are keeping yourself at risk. And finally the light came out, that's not very nice. So, please keep yourself safe, and if you are experiencing stalking, do the steps needed to get it to stop and the person to be warned or arrested, or whatever level is needed for the type you are experiencing. Do not keep it quiet. Do not keep it to yourself and suffer, because that is wrong. What they do is wrong, and you are a victim, and as a victim you have a right to try saving yourself, basically. So if you are experiencing that, please help yourself, seek the help of others. Like mine worked out pretty well, but I don't know how well it would have worked out if I'd gone any further, to be honest. So that is my advice on stalking, and also my own experience. And I hope you manage to take something away from it and manage to fix any issues any of you are experiencing. You're all brilliant people, and when there's the bad egg who wants to torment us or use us or anything like that, it really hurts, and it really scares people. Even those that can shrug it off or feel uncomfortable and awkward when it does happen. So keep yourself safe, and don't let people like Jim win. So to finish off, I will be doing videos strictly on Fridays or Saturdays, and I will keep on schedule as things like birthdays and that have been gotten out of the way. And when I start college again, I will be taking one of my work breaks, like study breaks, to record a video. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do next week, but I felt like I needed to make this video. From the last 2 days, it just felt like, okay, I need to do a video that addresses something like this. and also with it being so hot, I don't think I could have thought properly of a review. So I will see you in the next video, and yeah, see you all soon.